The man was just peeing and accidentally looked around, and suddenly walked up the steps. Looking at the golden stone in front of him, he was in a trance. Did he find the gold himself? Then he took a look at his companion not far away. Then he looked at the stone again. After thinking for a while, he still called his companion. The other party started to be a little confused, but when he saw this stone, he didn't dare to believe his eyes. In order to verify the truth, he decided to burn it with a lighter. You have to know that the truth is not afraid of fire. When they saw that the stone did not turn black at all, they were sure that they had really found the gold. The man didn't expect that he just peed casually, and he was going to become a billionaire. The two of them didn't dare to take the tool and dig it up. They were afraid that other people would pass by, but they didn't expect that the head of this gold was so big. They kept digging for 7 or 8 hours in a row and didn't see its whole appearance. The companion really couldn't wait. He wanted to move it out with the man. But even if the two of them used all their strength, they only left a few palm prints on it. Then he thought of another good way. Since we have a car, why don't we pull an elephant according to its horsepower? This little gold is not easy to grab. But in the end, the rope broke and the stone did not move. The companion was so angry after seeing it. The gold was right in front of them, but they couldn't do anything. He had no choice but to dig it up again. The two of them did this for several hours in a row, but they still didn't get it. They realized that this might not be a piece of gold, but a gold mine. It was getting dark. The companion decided to take a break for the time being. At night, when the two of them thought that they were going to become billionaires, they couldn't help but be happy. Such a big gold mine can't be spent for a lifetime. But the problem now is how to get it out. After thinking for a while, the companion proposed a solution. He sent one of them to find an excavator in town. The other one stayed here. He felt that men lacked the experience of surviving in the wild. It's safer to stay and guard the gold. After all, there are fierce wild dogs around. He couldn't handle it. But in the face of great benefits, the man no longer trusted his companion. He thought he was more familiar with this place. It's more suitable to find an excavator in town. The companion wanted to explain, but the man didn't give him a chance at all. He insisted on staying to guard the gold. Seeing that the other party insisted so much, he couldn't say anything more. So he agreed, because he knew that men were unfamiliar with this place. No one has the ability to take the gold away alone. So he dared to promise him. He needed at least 4 days to go back. So he only left enough water and food for the other party to live for 4 days. Before leaving, he still reminded the man that he must not let others find this place. He would take the excavator back as soon as possible. Then he left the other party a phone number for easy contact. Then he drove away. Maybe this was all his plan. The man stayed there for a long time. After making sure his companion really left, he buried the gold again. Then he set up a simple tent next to it. In order to verify that his companion did not cheat himself, he dialed the phone. After hearing the voice of the guest house on the phone, the man let go of his mind. In order to prevent being attacked by wild dogs, he collected some dry branches and lit a fire at night. Although this can temporarily drive them away, but once the fire is extinguished, the wild dogs are likely to attack. So he has to be on guard all the time. Until the next day at noon, he woke up in a daze. The man just knew that he had miraculously survived. Just when he was going to wash his hands with water after going to the bathroom, he suddenly thought that if his companion did not come back within 4 days, the water would be a hope for him to survive. He could only make do with it for the time being. But at this time, the phone suddenly rang. The man didn't even have time to pick it up. He ran over here. He was afraid to miss the good news of his companion, but he was still 1 step late. The phone hung up directly. Although the conditions here are very bad, but when he saw the sparkling gold, the man thought it was all worth it. Just when he was preparing for the fire at night, he suddenly saw something shining not far away. Could it be another piece of gold? He dared not think about it anymore. It's impossible that luck is always so good. With a doubt, he came here. I didn't expect it to be an accident plane. It's probably a sandstorm. Although it's not gold, it's good to treat it as a temporary shelter. It can be thought of as being very far away from the gold. The man decided to give up, so he took off his fuselage, took these pieces with him, and simply upgraded his tent. This can prevent wild dogs from attacking and can well guard the gold. It's a perfect match. But under the sun, it soon became a pit. He had no choice but to take a breath. Looking at the gold next to it, the man was inevitably excited. He didn't expect that he was just traveling in the West. He met this great good thing. Even if it's just a small piece, it can make his second half of his life upright and carefree. He just picked up the stone and knocked down the top piece. Looking at this piece of gold bigger than his head, the man even thought it was all a dream. At that moment, the phone on the side rang. He pulled it back to reality. He thought his companion was going to drive the excavator back. As a result, the other party told him that the engine of the car was overheated and broken. He is still repairing it now. He may not make it back in 4 days. Let the man keep going. He heard that he was a little noisy here. The remaining water and food were only enough to survive for 4 days. How could he keep going? But when he thought about the gold, he didn't care. At night, because the wild dogs were crowding around, he couldn't sleep all night. He could only take the torch and keep repairing it. The man thought for a long time that the tent was not strong enough. So the next day, he came to the accident plane again. He was going to take some pieces back and reinforce it. But then a woman appeared in his vision. In order to avoid the whereabouts of the gold, he decided to hide. But this woman seemed to have found him a long time ago. She came over and knocked on the window above. The man pretended to be looking for something. Seeing the other party so nervous, he seemed to be afraid to see others. The woman felt very confused. In order not to expose the gold, the man told her that he was just trapped here. He was waiting for his friend to save him. The other party said that 5 kilometers ahead there was a shelter and a water pit. Why do you have to stay here? When he saw the other party's eyes that kept blinking, he was more sure that this guy must be hiding some secret. Then he walked towards his camp. The man stopped him as soon as he saw him. But women are not so easy to fool. After the other party left, he followed up with Chi-Ho. He kept asking her if she was running away. The man couldn't stand it anymore. He shouted at the other party to leave. Otherwise, he would have to do it himself. But the woman didn't eat this set at all. She insisted on going to his camp. The man also started to run out of water for a long time. He was already exhausted. He couldn't catch up with him. He could only watch the other party come to his tent. He was talking while he was looking around. In order to avoid the gold being discovered by Chi, the man decided to pick up a wooden stick and hit the woman's head with it. But after seeing the other party's blood flow, he got scared again. He didn't expect to become a murderer, but after he calmed down, he still found a place to bury it. He was lucky enough to get water and food, but he didn't expect that the woman's body was buried for less than a few minutes. The wild dogs around him smelled the smell of blood and followed him all the way. Because of his conscience, the man still rushed up with an iron stick. No matter what, at least he had to keep the other party's body. After chasing these guys away, he chose to set the woman on fire so that his soul could rest in peace. After doing all this, the man dug out the gold and looked at it. He didn't know if he could hold on. The next day, his companion finally called again. He almost connected it with a gun. He thought the other party brought good news, but he didn't expect to have to wait a few more days. Hearing this, the man could no longer control his emotions. He should have listened to the other party before. Let him guard the gold. But at this time, a truck appeared in his vision. He quickly hung up the phone and hid it. Fortunately, the other party just passed by and didn't notice him. But what awaited him next was the real nightmare. Just as the man was preparing for the fire at night, a sandstorm broke out towards this side. He was so scared that he couldn't even run to the tent. But only a few pieces of broken pieces were left. How could he resist the sandstorm? Soon the pieces were blown out one by one. In the end, even the tree that had survived was blown down. When the man woke up again, a big branch went straight through his body. But he didn't care about his injury at all. A man went to find the gold. This may be his only hope to survive. But without that tree as a reference, he couldn't determine the specific direction at all. The man crawled on the ground for a long time and finally found it. When he touched it, his dizzying heart was completely dropped. At this time, he finally remembered his injury. He ruthlessly pulled the branch out of his body and simply tied it up. Finally, he sealed the wound with a red hat. But in the end, the injury was too serious and he passed out. When he woke up, he gradually had hallucinations. He always felt that the woman he killed was wandering around. At this time, his companion called. When he learned that someone else was coming, he became furious and started yelling at the man. He didn't care about his life at all. But at this time, a man who looked exactly like the woman appeared in front of him. It turned out that these two were a pair of twins. The woman came to find her sister. After she came here, she disappeared for no reason. After hearing this, the man began to panic. He immediately urged her to leave. But the woman kept caring about his injury and wanted to take him to the shelter for treatment. Seeing the other party's attitude so bad, he didn't force himself to turn around and leave. After the woman left, the man let go of his heart. But when he woke up from a coma again, there were inexplicable fires around him. Seeing that the man was injured, the wild dogs could no longer stand it and were ready to attack him. He quickly called his companion for help. What surprised him was that the other party was on a hill not far away. It turned out that he had come back with a digger. After coming back, he didn't rush down, but found a place with a broad view and watched everything that happened below. No matter how the other party asked for help on the phone, this guy didn't do anything. After the man found the gold, he was already thinking about how to get rid of the other party. He knew that as long as he made that suggestion, the other party would definitely choose to stay and guard the gold. This is the nature of humanity. Then he only gave him 4 days to think. When he came back, he just had to wait in silence. When he couldn't hold on any longer, the wild dogs would naturally take the opportunity to attack. In the end, he was able to take the gold alone without knowing anything. Looking at the man's missing body, his companion had no mercy. There was only a flash of gold in his eyes. He didn't know that the king of Tang was waiting for him.